So the first question is, what is AI, artificial intelligence? It's a term coined by the Stanford professor John McCarthy back in 1955. It was defined as the science and engineering of making intelligent machines. It's more commonly understood as a machine's ability to perform a task that would have previously required human intelligence. Now, there are three types of artificial intelligence. The first is narrow intelligence, and this plays a pivotal role in the functioning of voice assistants like Siri, Alexa, and Google Assistants. It's often referred to as weak AI because it lacks general intelligence. Nevertheless, some illustrative applications of narrow AI encompass those voice assistants as well as some image recognition systems, technologies that handle straightforward customer service requests, and tools for identifying inappropriate online content. A example of this is found in ChatGPT. It's programmed with a specific task, generating text responses provided in response to a prompt. Next is general AI, sometimes referred to as strong AI, and this remains a theoretical concept as it entails machines comprehending and performing a wide array of tasks based on evidence that's been accumulated. This level of intelligence is similar to human cognition, as general AI systems would possess the ability to reason and think like humans. Similar to humans, strong AI or general AI would potentially have the capacity to grasp and excel in things like diverse intellectual tasks, abstract thinking, being able to acquire knowledge from experiences, and taking that knowledge to solve novel problems. Now, creating a system with its own consciousness is a considerable distance away, but remains the ultimate objective of AI research. And lastly, we have super AI, and this has the potential to not only impact humanity, but also pose existential risks. This scenario may seem like it's straight out of a science fiction book, and in many ways, it is. They envision a system where intelligence can surpass human intellect and excel in all aspects and functions in every conceivable way. Now, this remains to be a speculative concept. Nevertheless, if it's able to be harnessed effectively and guided by ethical principles, such a system could pave a way for remarkable advances in fields like medicine, technology, and more. After diving into what is artificial intelligence and the different types, it came to the decision of what specific artificial intelligence I wanted to look into, and it became a difficult decision because there really were benefits to looking at all different types. But I really wanted to explore ChatGPT just because it is showing up in a lot of schools, and there's a lot of issues with copywriting and students having essays generated from these papers. So I'm going to talk about some of the tech features of ChatGPT, the instructional benefits, um, places I see myself potentially implementing this, and also some of the limitations of ChatGPT, because this is a type of weak AI, as they call it. So there are limitations to artificial intelligence. So it came to be a difficult decision when trying to list all the tech features that ChatGPT has to offer because it really does have a wide range of capabilities. One of the most common is text generation. And, ChatGPT can respond to prompts that you give it, questions or commands. It can provide you explanations. It can create questions or content for you and so much more. It can also take that content and give you a summarization of it. If you have a long passage and you just want to get the gist out of it, it can offer that for you. Also, language translation. You could ask it to translate something into a different language and it offers that feature to you. It can also retrieve information. It's only pre-trained though, and I'll talk about this later also. It's only pre-trained up through September 2021. So any information that's happened in the world since then is not going to be able to be generated by ChatGPT. And one of the most common ones that I think my students would probably find useful is solving equations. This is performing math calculations and solving word problems and other types of math like that. Again, ChatGPT also offers a lot of instructional benefits. I can personalize the learning with my students by tailoring responses to individual students' needs and their progress, and it can be adapted to work at their pace. It offers enhanced and increased engagement. It can be interactive by responding to students in more of a conversational setting versus robotic. It's also available 24/7, if they need assistance or resources outside of the school day and I'm not available, they can use it and receive a fairly accurate answer to their question, which is also instant feedback. They get an answer right away. My students are heavily involved also in research projects right now. They got to choose a topic that they created questions for and are now researching and taking notes on. So ChatGPT could potentially provide them with resources or notes on their specific topics. And something that might also be beneficial to teachers is scaffolding. I've learned recently that my science lessons are very detailed and very in-depth and need to be scaffolded. I can use ChatGPT to scaffold the lessons to be simpler, more digestible, and make it easier for my younger students to learn it. Now, every artificial intelligence has its limitations, especially the weak AIs that I mentioned about earlier. It only has a knowledge base up to September 2021. So anything that's happened in the last 2 years isn't going to be able to be generated by AI. It lacks predictive capabilities. It cannot make predictions of things that might happen or will happen, like think sporting events, for example. It won't talk politics, tries to stay very objective in offering, doesn't like to offer opinions quite often. And it's not guaranteed to be accurate. I found an article that kind of talked a little bit about that, and it gave an example of typing in words similar to devolve that begins with B, and ChatGPT responded with one word similar to devolve that begins with B is debase, which obviously is not correct. So, the different implementations that I came up with mostly apply to myself as a teacher. Um, Personalizing the learning for my students and being able to scaffold, as I mentioned before, is very important to me to make sure every student is getting what they need to succeed. I can take a reading passage and put it at a different level so that all the students are reading the same content, but at the level that works for them. Something that I've begun exploring is creating lesson plans using AI. I can give the standards that I'm working with or the I can statements that I'm working with and create a lesson plan for the grade level that I want it to suit. As I mentioned earlier, my students are very heavily involved in research right now. So my students can research using AI. And along with personalized learning comes differentiation and enrichment. I can take a text or a lesson plan or an assignment and bring it up a grade level to enrich my fifth graders with sixth grade work, or take it a grade level down for my students that need extra support with those basic skills. For example, math fluency. So I think there are quite a different ways that I could potentially use this in my classroom and have already begun doing so. So I leave you with this question: is the future artificial? I'm very excited about the potential benefits that AI could bring to the classroom to benefit my students. But it all comes to teaching them how to use it properly to avoid copywriting and taking somebody else's work as their own, and also being able to use the information provided by AI and being able to paraphrase it. My hesitation comes from it being something they didn't create. And does it come too easy for them? Will they learn how to struggle appropriately? There's something is called like it's okay to struggle sometimes. And I want to make sure that the students understand that, and I don't want them to always take the easy way out. And is AI the easy way out? Only you can tell. Thank you for listening.